Alright, my lovers, it's 2024 and I get to put on this stupid voice again. Yep, we're back in the Royal Mile because some game company decided to announce a sequel and I need to do something quick.
Oh, RMC Moose. That'll do. Oh yeah, you guys, this view can mean only one thing. We are back in a fan favourite park. This is the Royal Mile. Welcome back, everybody. Woohoo! If you're new to the channel, then, well, firstly, welcome aboard. This was the series we did where we started in 1930 and we developed the park through the years to 2023. And we said we were going to come back and do the 2024 new edition attraction. And it is that time. Now, I need to do quick turnaround episodes for reasons that I think you guys will already know. But if you don't know, then I need to do quick turnaround episodes, and this is one of those quick turnaround episodes. This is the area that we are developing for reasons we always said we're going to develop. But the quick question is, what's coming in here? Well, this, a cute little RMC Wild Moose, and I absolutely love it. They are so much fun to pull together. I've always wanted a Wild Moose in here. I've always wanted something in this space. I did originally think that the corkscrew was going to get replaced for one, but actually I decided to put it in this corner instead. And you're probably thinking, well, why in this corner? Why a Wild Moose to start with? Because that's not very British. Come on, Chacho. And it's because, do you remember the coaster that was in this space here? The Anton Schwarzkopf first one? Well, technically speaking, that would be the prime coaster to be moosed by RMC. So what I've decided to do is put a Wild Moose into the park and to pay homage and pay tribute to that original coaster, just in a slightly different location. So this is what we've got. We've got the station and we have the lift hill. There is the lift hill right there. Then it comes into your usual like RMC kind of twisted track. Remember, the idea of the Wild Moose is to take on a Wild Mouse coaster, right? So you have the first like steep drop, and then it comes down into a really steep drop. Then it comes into an airtime hill, comes around this way into a almost like an overbanked airtime hill, and then another one this way, and it just winds its way and meanders its way round to the end of the course with lots of really high banked turns, lots of airtime hills, lots of ejector airtime. As I said, these are the new generation Wild Mouse coasters, and I absolutely love it. I don't know if it's traveling around the track a little bit too hot. I don't know if I need to change the friction. I need to go back and look at the video, the concept art video, just to see whether this is possibly travelling a little bit too fast, and I need to sort timings and stuff out as well, but it's all fine. And then the queue line, I've just decided to wrap around this bit. I didn't actually have much room here, so I do need to sort of like do some tidying up in this area, but wrap it around this way, bring it through here, wrap it around the back here and back around this way, and then into a cattle pen. I don't think this is going to get much of a queue, but it's also not got much of a throughput, so because they are only six car trains, so they're relatively short in nature. I've also taken the opportunity as well to bring the path back round this way. Literally nobody picked up on the fact that I didn't bring the path round. So I have finally taken the opportunity to bring the path round. Of course, I need to tidy it up and make it all do its thing. And then I just need to sort out what the plaza area is going to look like here. And then, of course, you've got the exit coming onto the hill here. I really like how this sits in this space. Like, it actually works. It feels right. It feels like this is the natural location for this coaster. And of course, we had the Enterprise that was sitting here, and that's now gone. You get a decent sight of it from outside of the park. Of course, I need to remove the trees and the stuff that's conflicting with it, but yeah, it's I like it. I like how it's positioned. Now, in terms of the station design, I'm actually going to bring back the station design of the original Dragon coaster, because if this is an homage to that coaster, it needs to pay full homage. So it's going to be a modern take on the old station. So if you don't remember what that is, then of course there's the episode that does all of that. So that's where we're at, and I quite like this. But, of course, I need to get it done. There's going to be no time-lapse. I don't have time to edit it. For reasons that you will either already know or you will see, I just don't have time to edit it. So, it's going to be a cut to done. It's not even going to be a middle part. It's just going to be done. So, here it is. 2 days. 2 days is what we consider a quick turnaround on this channel. I don't even know how. It's a small coaster that's gone into a small area, into a park that's already finished. Like, this is all the area I had to work in. I think, by the way, it's because it needed a bit of refinement. I needed to make it all make sense, and I needed it to fit into the personality of the park, and I needed to go back and revisit the other bits of the park and whatever. And full disclosure, I forgot to say this at the beginning. I did use Spudsicle's blueprint from the workshop as a base for this, and I've just edited it slightly and tweaked it slightly to make it fit the Royal Mile footprint and whatever. So thank you, Spudzicle, because it's actually a really decent start. So yeah, like, I really enjoy how this has like turned out and how it's happened, considering that there was an enterprise sat on this spot not, well, a couple of years ago, but not 2 days ago. I like it, right? It's just this really amazingly compact coaster, and these things are going to be good in real life, and it's the perfect homage to the Dragon Coaster that was here before. That was the whole purpose of this. It's a shame it's not in the original spot of the Dragon Coaster, and it's not a true Wild Moose conversion, but I like it, you know. Like, these are going to be cool coasters. I just hope that we get them in the UK. And I mean, like, notwithstanding the fact that we don't have an RMC, and there are reasons for that in the UK, this is like taking realism to the next step and whatever. But yeah, I'm digging how this is sitting on this spot. So let's have a look. I don't really know where to begin because it's such a small area. I'm going to run out of things to tell you. But this is the this is the station building. So do you remember back to the original Dragon? And how that was way back when. Well, I've used the original station design, but I've tweaked it for a modern 2024 style design. So it's not identical to how it was originally, but it isn't completely unique either. So inside here, it's got a little bit of like fairy tale theming going on and just a little bit of stuff. It's got row numbers and whatever, but I've just kept this really quite simple. I didn't want to do much more into this one. And like I say, I needed a quick turnaround, and this was turning into a not quick turnaround. So this is a bit of like a slapdash chacho. And I really do hope you understand why, because by the time this goes out, you're going to know why. So I hope you understand that I've had to continue a schedule, but I've had to place a priority elsewhere, and you now know what that priority was. So anyway, inside here, it looks alright. It looks decent enough. I'm happy with it. I've forgotten to open the coaster. Oh well, never mind. The exterior, I just wanted this to have like the whole castle thing, and this is where we really need the resize objects, because the turret piece that's here would be perfect if I could resize it. The windows, perfect if I could resize it. That's all I'm going to say. I can't wait to have resizing objects. Resizing objects is the thing that I didn't realise I needed until it was presented to me, and I then thought about it in this game, or in the context of this game. I'm like, oh my god, yes. You're right, like, you're absolutely right. I'm so used to working with the game and its pieces, and the pieces, and complaining about the size of them, but never actually putting the thought process of, oh, I wish I could just resize this. So over on this side there, we've got the brake run. You'll notice here, by the way, we do have some custom supporting going in. I think this is the other reason it took 2 days, because I did a bit of custom supporting, and I was like, oh, I can't just leave it a little bit. It kind of needs a lot more. I haven't done all of it. I don't have the patience. B, I don't have the time. And C, this park is so done, it's done. I'm like, it's just whatever. So, like, you'll see here, I haven't put the custom supporting in here. It's deliberate. I'm sorry, it's deliberate. But what I have done is this bit here. This was the important bit. This was the bit that needed it to be done. So I have put the steel girders and stuff all along here, and it's now supporting the weight of the track. And the reason I've done this bit rather than the other bit is because this is a massive bit that otherwise would have no supports. So it needed something. I have also done similar elsewhere. Where did I do it? Can't find it. Doesn't matter. It's not important. That was the other one. But I have also put in custom supports here. So I've just put in the beams from the mouse trap coaster. Wooden wild mouse. There you go. I've put the wooden beams in here just to like finish it off, just to give it like that support bit. So then I've also done all of the usual catwalk clutter. That's all in. Again, it doesn't need much because these things are decent, right? They're quite modern. They're still wooden structures, so you don't put electrics on wooden structures. And yeah, they don't really need much. They're not that tall. They're quite reliable. There's not a lot that can go wrong with them in fairness. I sorted out the timing, so as you see, the timing is now spot on. It all works as it should. Queue line has also gone in. I did want this, as you saw in the beginning, a cattle pen. So you've got the cattle pen here, and it comes through to a second cattle pen. And then it does actually come back on itself, comes around the outside here, and then back around here, and then back through the coaster, and then back round to the station. So I like it. I like how this sort of like wraps around. It gives me vibes of Rattlesnake at Chessington. I didn't want to overly theme it though. I didn't want to put like theming structures and stuff in here. It feels like this does need to be a bit more lower budget, if you like, because they would have spent the money on the coaster, not on the area, and because they were going for a whole dragon homage, that's what they've gone for. There is no name. Suggest a name if you like, guys. I don't mind. Stick it in the comments. You know what to do. You know what to do by now. So I then also, around this area, started to tidy up like the plaza area and stuff. I wanted this to feel like they didn't need to make much of a massive change to this area. I didn't want it to feel like it was a whole brand new, lots of landscaped kind of area. It felt like it needed to just replace the Enterprise that was here, and this was perfect because it was already on the side of a hill. There was already a hill here, so that meant I could put the concrete pad and stuff of the station on the side of the hill, and then the exit path comes down to this one, down to the hill, and then we did have like this bit here that was originally where the entrance of the Enterprise was. I didn't want to get rid of that, like that area. I didn't want to landscape it or anything, so what I did was put a planter in, so it's almost like that was still originally there. It's keeping some of the history of the park, and that's true to what we've done in this park, right? There's lots of areas where we've still got homages of stuff that was around in the 60s, 70s, 80s, well, in fact probably even before. Some of the stuff from the 30s is all in here, so I wanted to make sure that was a thing. I mean, you don't notice it when we're talking about it right now, but it's there, and I like the fact that it's stuff like this hidden lore that's going on inside the ride area. Then I have just done a bit of foliage. It was originally, because this is going to be brand new, it was originally just dirt, you know, like Hyperia, how that is at the moment, and how that's just bark and whatever, but I actually thought, no, I do want to put some kind of overgrowth and whatever. Maybe they would have made an effort to do some kind of landscaping, but I did keep the lack of overgrowth in this kind of area here. So this is still very new, and I wanted this to feel like it was brand new. And I wanted this to feel like it was put in specifically for this. So the path around here is now finished, and it's now done, and I'm happy with it. It now makes sense. It doesn't just come to an end here completely pointlessly. And it kind of feels like the park could have done this because you can now direct guests either around this way or around this way, or through the courtyard if that's what you wanted to do. So if you did have a rush in the morning, then you've got different ways that you can spread your guests. So we're all good. But yeah, I quite like how this queue is like sat down and stepped down and whatever. It's decent. It's decent. I love it. I can just imagine this queue being full and it just being there. From the outside of the park, then this is the view. This is the view that you get. I did need to alter the fencing, and I've also put slightly higher don't die fencing just along as well, because otherwise it was a little bit too short. It's still 2 meters. It's still compliant. But it's not anti-climb, so I needed to put something in anti-climb, and the way you do that is to step it back slightly, and then you're good to go. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to do. Like, I like it, and in the context of the Royal Mile, that's how it sits in the entire park. So like, it sits perfectly. It sits exactly as it should. I'm not actually upset that it's not here. I'm quite happy that it sits quite nicely tucked up to the edge of the park, and yeah, it's quite nice being back in this park actually. There's quite a bit in here that I'd forgotten that I liked. It's sort of like, it became a bit of a grind after a while, this park, and I've come back to it and I'm like, actually no, I did enjoy doing this. Like, the park file opened over on the invert, and that just made me fall in love with it all over again. So anyway, that's me waffling. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this shorter episode. Do you know what this park needs? It needs a water park, doesn't it? Where would it go? I mean, I don't think we're going to have the ability to import old parks, and we're certainly not going to have the ability to run it with TMTK, but Wonder where it would go. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, sorry. It's just a little bit of an offshoot. Thank you for getting to the end of the episode. I appreciate it, guys. I will see you next week for another episode. I've got some special stuff coming. It's not it's not related to the news because it's not quite time to be related to the news. But I do have some exciting stuff coming. So watch this space. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye, guys.